So you've just received the life-changing news that someone you love has autism. And so now the question simply is this: what do I do? How do I learn more? Well, today we have some thoughts on that coming up in this video. Hi, I'm Justin.
And I'm Lisa.
Welcome to Our Social Story, talks and tools for rewriting the special needs story. Our goal is to help bring hope to special needs families and those who love them. So if you'd love to get more content like this and be notified when there is new content, would you consider subscribing down below, and don't forget to click that bell.
So in our last video, we shared that we were going to tell you a little bit more about the name Our Social Story. If you missed that video, make sure you check it out. There'll be a link to the video in the comment below. Before we dive in though, I'm super curious if any of you guys watching actually know what a social story is. If you do, we'd love to hear your definition down in the comments. Just leave us a note and tell us what you believe a social story is. I will tell you that from my experience 6 years ago, I had no idea. It was not a word in my vocabulary.
I would have answered no idea in the comments.
Probably. But it ended up being one of the most important tools that we used in the early days of Tommy's autism diagnosis. And it's honestly a tool that we still use today in everyday life, whether it's making transitions, going to school, or trying new things, going on vacations. We try to incorporate that social story. I actually have an example I want to share with you guys as well. Not only is it a social story, but it was a gift from somebody in our village. Her name is Miss Sue, and Miss Sue was one of Tommy's kids program teachers at our church. She noticed that he was having a really hard time transitioning into church each week, and noticed how stressful it was for us as well. Yeah. So she gifted us this beautiful social story that walks Tommy through what he needs to do every single week in order to successfully go into church. It was life-changing, and it was the first time I think I probably realized that we had people in our corner who noticed that we were struggling and then wanted to provide a solution.
Really just an incredible insight into how we were going to be able to communicate. And I think that's one of those first things when you get that autism diagnosis, that you know there's going to be a communication barrier. Mm-hmm. And for there to be something as simple as just write it out, break it down, and just repeat it with them.
Mm-hmm. So this book breaks down for Tommy his steps. It talks about that he needs to walk into the building, that he's going to be greeted in the big boy room, that his teachers, Mr. Jeff and Miss Sue, will be there to take care of him, and that he's going to have a great time. So really simple steps.
Cool. Miss Sue, we can't thank you enough for creating a way for us to just be able to go to church, to be able to drop him off in that kids ministry and know that not only was he well received and loved, but that he knew what was coming. And that in and of itself is just such a huge gift. We love what we learn.
Really simply put, it's taking a very complex idea and breaking it down into bite-sized pieces so that somebody can understand it. That can be done in a visual format with pictures and words. It can be in a checklist. There's lots of different ways to do it. We wanted to take this really simple tool and move it forward as we create this channel.
So by now, people are going to ask themselves, why this channel?
Mm-hmm. So you can really expect two things, talks and tools. The talks are really just conversations with experts, with friends, with family members who have helped us along the way. There are so many resources out there, and so we want to make it a little bit easier to have that conversation.
And tools. And what I mean by that is something that is just very near and dear to me. I have loved technology for as long as I can remember. If you ask people that know me well, they'll tell you this guy is always testing the latest and greatest of what's out there. But I'll tell you, something came alive in me when I realized it could have such an impact in the special needs world. When I have seen my son's eyes light up around a piece of technology because it can change colors, because his voice, for the first time he's seen, have power. So we believe this can have such an incredible impact. So here's the deal. Thanks for being with us today. If you like the content that we're putting out there, would you give us a thumbs up? And if you don't, hey, feel free to knock that thumbs down. Here's why. Don't do that.
No, don't do that.
Here's what it lets us know. What is helping this community? And that's why we're here to begin with. So if you haven't already, we'd love for you to subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell. Tell us we're doing a good job or maybe not as great a job as we can do. We'll get better. But here's what we also want you to know. We always have conversations going on our Facebook page at facebook.com/oursocialstory. We would love to see you there as well.